to another episode of the Think Successfully Room. This is a platform where we focus on building mindsets, building characters, bringing value to both you and your people, and aligning your body with your intelligence. I am your host, QB So Effing Amazing. And right here we have a special guest with me today, Leo, over here at Leo's Guns and Range. Man, how you doing today,
Good.
bro?
How you doing, Q?
Man, I can't complain, bro. How you feeling, man?
Good, alive and happy and saying, hey, we got to go play with some guns.
Oh yeah, man. That's the most important thing, man. Yeah, I definitely like what you guys set up right here today. So it was one topic I wanted to touch base on, man, as far as the importance of protecting yourself, right? So I think the most wise decision I ever made just throughout life is staying outside of the system that allowed me to protect my people how I wanted to without facing consequences for doing so.
You gotta be smart.
Right, so what's your take on that? You know what I'm saying, as far as protection and how important it is for people to take that serious?
No one ever thinks it will happen, but it can. Believe it or not, last Friday night, I was here after hours, a friend of mine sitting in the parking lot. Some people just came walking on in.
In here?
Tried, yeah. They did. So I had to go call the police and get them out. But you would never think that a rational person would go to a gun store an hour and a half after they close and just try and go in. But they did. They were looking for me, they didn't like something, wanted to complain. But you don't think it will happen until it actually does.
So how many of them was it that came in?
5.
It was 5 guys that came in.
Yeah.
Did they look suspicious at all?
Came in wearing a hat, baggy clothes, and brought bags, yeah.
Oh man.
I thought they were trying to rob me.
So my thing is, so how did that situation go from start to finish? Like,
Well, I was astonished that they would actually do something that stupid. I walked out of my friend's car, said, I'll be right back, walked inside, told them to literally get the hell out, and then they didn't want to, so I called the police, and I got them there. But, say something happened. It's good that I had a handgun on me, or something, just because you never know.
right.
And when I got outside, they followed me. 2 of the boys came from right across the next door lot, came on, looked there. They didn't leave until they saw the cops coming, then they left, but those 2 just sat there chilling. And you never know what can happen.
Wow, man. See, that's why it's so important, man, because it's crazy. Like, I hear about these type of stories all the time, but actually coming from somebody that I think it's been about 3-4 years since I've known you now. We done grew a pretty solid relationship, and you don't really hear those type of stories coming from somebody that you close to.
Yeah.
So that's crazy that, you know, is that the first encounter you had like that at this store?
Well, yes, like that and that aspect, like where they keep walking in like that. I mean, every once in a while I get idiots that try to do stupid shit, but that was the first time as I was sitting there watching them try and break on in, and I just left the door a little ajar, because, you know, there's the lock. I put it right in front of the lock, because, you know, I'm sitting there in the parking lot. Like, who's going to do that without me looking at it?
Man, so it's something called a reactionary gap that I was reading in one of my Shooter Illustrated magazines. And it pretty much explained how when you see a potential threat, it's important for you to keep a gap between you and that threat. It's pretty much giving you time to be able to react and get out that situation alive if necessary. So when they came into the store, was you on point as far as keeping your distance from them, not really knowing what they expect?
Yes, they were over there, I was at the door, they didn't want to leave, so then I started backing off, going to the door, got my phone out, called the cops. That's when they finally want to follow me.
My apologies, y'all. Like that.
Well, did I do that all the time with my guns and shit?
Right.
And I locked the deadbolt, so I just didn't know. What the fuck you guys doing? Hit the deadbolt, just give me some more space. Walked to the first part of the parking lot, and they were just chilling right up front.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is.
These had to be some young, cause you know, just younger guys.
You think that, but no. One was young, one was about 40s. Then 2 of the other 40, yeah, it was my neighbors next door.
Man, anybody in their 40s, man, doing shit like that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
And they came here looking for me. They parked their car on my lot. They parked in my lot a week beforehand. I put a tow tag on since they just kind of abandoned my lot. I kind of got, so I can't do that. 8 days later, we got towed. Then they came for me because they knew I was here alone. There was one other person at 9:30 at night because they weren't going to do it during the daytime. So it's too many people.
Right.
So the 5 of them came on over, 9:30 at night, walked from here, walked to the office, to the classroom, walked there, and walked back here looking for me. I saw it on the camera.
Oh yeah, that's suspicious. Yeah.
That was, especially when you're coming hoodies, bags, and hats.
Yeah, and
Don't know what's up.
And then if it's just a normal person, just walking into any establishment, they not gonna go into an area, in the back of the
back looking for me,
Exactly,
and
man.
then when I encountered them in here, they said, "We're looking for you. We got questions. Where's the car?" So I unpolitely told them to leave the trespass and get out. And that's when I finally called the cops, but that's when I started back saying I held the door open, pointed there to go. Didn't want to. I was like, all right, fine. Walked out, did that.
So that brings me into another question I was thinking of, man. In what situation do you feel is necessary to take lethal action?
When you are in fear of your life, you can't do it beforehand, since it's a whole lot more than just say they're walking in. If they started threatening me more than they were, if they started trying to attack me, then yes, I would be in fear of my life. But because they didn't do that, they were going to until I called the police. But once they did that, they knew I was on the phone with the operator. They weren't going to do something while I'm literally sitting there with the dispatch office. But if I didn't do that, then yeah, they would have.
Man.
If they did, then yeah, I would have had to. But thank God they didn't.
Man, I'm glad you all right, man. You said you was the only one here?
Me with one of my friends was sitting in the car right outside in the parking lot. They walked right by, opened the door.
Yeah, but you was in the building by yourself.
No. I was in the car with someone.
Oh.
We were just in the car, listening to music, talking. They walked right on in. Didn't even look at us in the car, just walked right to the door.
Oh, man.
And I was like, what the hell? And hence followed them in.
Man,
Yeah, but you never know what can happen. You can't predict the future. And that's one of these instances where it is good to have a firearm on you because you don't know. You can't predict what they're going to do.
And that's something, man, like, in a situation like that, because there's some people I run into that don't keep their firearm on them at all times. But me, when I first became a concealed carry, when I first got my concealed carry permit, putting my gun on my hip is almost like how I put a shirt on my back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How I put a pair of pants on.
Yeah.
You can't leave the house barefoot.
Yeah.
Anytime I get dressed, it's almost a habit to put my gun on my hip.
Routine, man.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And that's important for if you new to owning a gun, you have a concealed carry permit. It's important for you to get comfortable with walking around with your gun on your hip because, like you was just saying, anything can happen, and you need to be prepared for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do, and you're right. You never know. And you put it in your pocket, your bag, somewhere on you, just somewhere you get it.
So what about keeping around a live round in the chamber?
Well, no reason to carry if you ain't carrying one in the chamber.
That's a fact.
It's like saying it's useless. You don't have the time to react. Right, put one in the chamber, then punch up and shoot.
It happens quick, right?
It does. It happens quick. Think about the time you should have you and another person go from one end of a hall to another and get a stopwatch and time how quickly it goes. It's a lot quicker than you think.
Right.
And you won't have the training to do that because that is actually a lot of training.
Man, it's
to do that.
If I ever run into somebody that have a firearm, that's carrying a firearm but don't have a live round in the chamber, it's telling me one thing, is that they lack the confidence and they lack the education.
Yep, correct.
You know, because like you just said, you don't have time because when a situation occurs, especially when it's a threat, it happens quick.
And you
know what I'm saying? You don't have time to sit here and draw your weapon rack the slide and then try to aim down the target. And in most cases, you might got to fire from the hip.
Yeah.
And in order for you to do that in the most precise way, it have to be a live round in the chamber.
Yep. And remember, you are always responsible for where that round will go.
Hollow points.
Still, if say you miss from the hip, so it has to go somewhere.
True. That's true. A lot of people don't. Just by you saying that,
Yeah.
I don't think about that all the time. But by you bringing that up again, you is responsible for that round leaving the chamber.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? So if you happen to fire from the hip and miss the target and hit somebody else,
bystander, that's on you.
yeah, that's something you got to deal with. Which is why it's important to train.
Yes, it is.
You know, because if you training all the time and you prepared to shoot from the hip, it ain't no way you can miss if you got a lot of hours
doing that.
as far as training.
But realistically, you're always usually, chances are you will miss if you shoot from the hip.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you ain't aiming, you don't know. Say your hand is just off to the side. It's a different angle than when you're shooting with that. Punch out and using your sights, you know?
Man, this I actually have, so when I'm practicing, drawing from the hip or just like, so the times I'm not in the gun range, I actually have targets.
Oh, yeah.
That's up in the house. So
a lot of people do that.
I dry fire. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's 5 minutes a day.
Still, practice.
So it's times where I would just practice on drawing from the hip, shooting from the hip. And I actually have a laser, obviously, in the gun. And I noticed that when you actually focus your sight on the target and you master what lining your body up with the target and you're shooting from the hip, you're not gonna be spot on, but you be within that proximity. You know, I actually learned that probably about a week ago. And that's a skill that anybody can require or just apply to a real life situation. You know what I'm saying? So, no, that's a big one, man. I ran into somebody that I want to say about a month ago, and he said he didn't carry one in the round because he didn't trust it. But I had to explain to him the consequences that can come from that, for not doing so. And like, it really could cost you your life for not having one.
Yes, it can. Surely
you know what I'm saying? And that just let me know, like, okay, bro, you don't have the confidence and you just lack the education.
Yep, it's like when I see people come to the range for the first time, they've never shot a gun. Everyone's scared because it's something new. It's getting over that mental hurdle and doing it. By the second, third time, they're smiling. Hell, by the end of the first time, they're smiling. It just takes time to build that confidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was when I first shot a gun. You know, it felt weird, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it was the explosion for me that just felt different. But I say after the second time, I was comfortable with it. And at that point, it became a hobby. I enjoyed doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then from that point, I just wanted to focus on getting better. You know, especially being the type of person I am, and I take protecting my people serious, and I want to make sure that I have the skills and the knowledge that's necessary in order for them to get out of a certain situation alive. You know, so yeah, bro, that's definitely a big one right there, man. I should have turned the lights red because that was a hot topic, but it's all good, man. So about the guns on the table, man. What's this one over there?
Smith & Wesson M&P R8. It's a .357 revolver. You get 8 shots. It's the rental one, so I gotta go clean it. But I popped a Steiner M&PS on it. It's the new like micro and close sight, all red dot. Battery lives for like a year and a half. So that thing's cool. I'm constantly on. It has a rail underneath. So say you want to put a lighter, a laser, or a pistol bang that you can. And the red dot, because red dots, they help you acquire the target a lot easier. So I do recommend putting them on the guns.
Right.
Just because the human eye goes to color when you go and search for something.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
8 shots at .357, you know, I put a big hole in it.
How much you think that optic running for?
500.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah.
Is it the brand or just?
It is one of the brands, like, you know, Trichcon's expensive, Steiner's expensive. It's in that market.
Right.
Just because they make a lot of products that are, you can beat the hell out of them and they last and they work.
Yeah, man, I know that because like I actually got an optic off of Amaazn one day. That thing ain't last me a whole month, man. It was fucked up after that, man.
That's why I recommend spending some money on a good optic because it will last.
How long you think like if you spend a decent amount of money, how long have an optic last you?
For a very long time. I'd say to take care of it indefinitely. If you can shoot the hell out of it. Like this thing, I have a rental Mac 10. I popped it on there since the bolt is incredibly violent going back and forth. Working just fine.
Okay.
Let's say I put the cheap Amaazn one on. Well, probably explode. I have to go clean out the range and then buy another one.
Yeah, see the spring on them actually popped on my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen that. The glass crack. Yeah.
Man, so we just discussed that. Let's do a quick review on this town ain't big enough for the two of us.
Another one fun rentals.
Hey, that joint chunky though, man. What's the name of the optic on that?
It's actually the one that Smith & Wesson sent with it. It's just your basic UTG optic. It was free, so I was like, screw it, I put this one on.
So what makes this
so cool?
What makes it dope or cool? But what makes it because you said it has no recoil when you shoot it.
Because it's big, heavy, the 6.5-inch barrel, and you get the compensator on it. And this thing, the gas you eject out of it, helps keep more in line and helps change how you feel the recoil. So instead of doing the big punch, bang, bang, like the thing is more like push, push, bang.
Yeah, I like that. Remind me of the Chiappa, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
when I bought that Chiappa from you.
One day I'll find a gold one for you, because they make those.
Oh, they got a gold joint?
Yeah, I've been
you
searching down for a minute.
You gotta hit me for that one, man.
I know, I've been waiting to find another one.
You definitely gotta hit me for that one, man. So I'm gonna have to add that one to the collection. I need an AK as well, and I gotta add the gold Tiger Stripe Desert Eagle to the joint, man. Yeah, for sure, man. I definitely want to appreciate you, man, for sitting down for this episode of the Think Successfully Room. Hopefully in the future, man, we're gonna branch off and start another podcast strictly around gun education.
This would be great. I think it's just great I finally got to do this. I've been waiting forever, Q.
Yeah, it's been, man, I've been trying to get you on here for a while. It was a little work, but we did it though, man.
Finally, I know, I just had to go block off time. I said, nope, we're doing it. Because I've been waiting to do this forever. I'm excited for it too.
Man, appreciate that, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it out one time, Leo, man. Life is good, y'all. Life is wonderful. Be blessed to be alive. Self-sufficiency is how you survive. To the kings and queens, to the guys and goddess, forever and always, think successfully. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man, appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All right, man, y'all just kind of sit right there for